Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be looking at vertical projectile motion, VPM, and I'm focusing on challenging questions. Now this is question 1. In this video, I'll just focus on only one question, this one. I have a series of questions that I'll be looking at, but in this video, I'll focus only on this one. Now, if you're new to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe. Give us feedback. Your feedback is greatly valued. Now let's look at this question here. Like I said, these are challenging questions. So we need to take our time to analyze the question and then do the sketching and then going on to answer the question. A stone is projected vertically downwards from the top of a building of height 80 meters with a velocity of 15 meters per second. At the same time, a second stone is projected vertically upwards from the foot of the same building with a velocity of 25 meters per second. The question is, determine how high above the ground, that's above the foot of the building, the stones are when they pass each other. Now, this, as you can see, is not a very simple question. These are 8 marks all the way up to 10 marks, question 1. Now, the approach to this one is the sketch first. In physics, sketching is very critical. So this is obviously a physics question, projectile motion. So here is our solution. That's question 1. I will start with a sketch, like I said. So the sketch is as follows. We have stone 1 and then stone 2. Stone 2 will be from down going up. So top of the building, there is our stone 1. Let's say this is top of building level. And then we have bottom of the building. I'm going to draw it somewhere down here. Even up here, it's fine. And we're told that this building, so this is top of the building and that's the ground, foot of the building. We are told that this distance here is 80 meters. And we're told that this stone here is projected vertically downwards with a velocity of 15 meters per second. And then we are told the second stone is projected vertically upwards. So this is stone 2. Is projected vertically upwards with a speed of velocity of 25 meters per second. Let's just go through the question again. It says a stone is projected vertically downwards from the top of a building of height 80 meters. There it is. So this is top of building level and that's ground. Let me just put it here. Top of building and let me say that this is ground. Right. Now, it says at the same time, a second stone is projected vertically upwards from the foot of the same building with a velocity of 25 meters per second. So there it is. How high above the ground we're supposed to determine the stones are when they pass each other. Let's just say that they pass each other along that line. So we're talking about stone 2. There it is, going up. Obviously, I'm gonna suggest or maybe assume that it's going up. And then stone 1, here it is. The assumption is that it's going down. When they pass each other, one is going up, the other one is going down. It may well be that they are both going down, but one is moving faster. But that will be a question for another day. But in this case, this will work. Now, the question is asking us how high above the ground the stones are when they pass each other. So let's say that that's our h. We want to work out h. Now, if the total distance from the top of the building to the foot of the building is 80 meters, if this is h, obviously you can agree with me that that distance there should be 80 minus h. We're talking about distance here. Right, so that's our sketch. Now, here is something else that we need to understand. That the question says at the same time, which means the time that stone 1 takes to move from there up to this point here will be the same as the time that the stone 2 takes to move from here up to there. These two must take the same time because they are projected at the same time. So they pass each other having covered the same amount of time. So let us list down data then. So I'm going to say now, taking down as positive, let me have data here. And I'll have stone 1 here. And I'll have stone 2 there. Do we know initial velocity? Yes, for stone 1, downwards is positive and the stone 1 is going down. So this will be positive 15 meters per second. Do we know final velocity? No, we don't. Do we know acceleration? Yes, it will be gravitational acceleration, which is positive 9.8 meters per second squared. Remember, we're taking down as positive, and acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared downwards. Do we know displacement? Now, this is critical. You need to pay attention here. How do we cover this? How does stone 1 cover this distance? Does it cover this distance going up or going down? It covers it going down, and therefore this one here will carry a positive sign outside there. 80 minus h. This distance is covered while going down, and we took down as positive for stone 1. Remember there. What about time? Delta t. Do we know it? No. Let's just say that it's small letter t. We're done with stone 1. Let's go to stone 2. We draw a line here to separate this information. Kind of, yeah, like this. This is good enough up to there. Now, and if you like, you can do this just to make the work look more presentable. Do we know initial velocity? Remember, we're still taking down as positive, even for stone 2. But notice that stone 2 is going up. Do we know initial velocity? Yes, it's going to be minus 25 meters per second. Because if downwards is positive, upwards must be negative. Carries a minus sign there. Do we know final velocity? No, we don't. Do we know acceleration? Remember, we're taking down as positive. So it doesn't matter where you're going. Taking down as positive, acceleration due to gravity is actually going to be positive 9.8 meters per second squared. Why is it positive? Because downwards is positive and this acceleration is also downwards. In other words, this stone is going up, but it's accelerating in the opposite direction. That's why its velocity decreases until finally it will be 0. Then it falls back to the ground. Now, do we know delta y? Well, delta y is h, but how do we cover h? Do we cover going up or going down? This h is covered going up. And we said down is positive, therefore up is negative. So this will be minus h. Take note of the sign convention there. Do we know time? Well, it's the same value. We said small letter t. Now, this data must be plugged into the formula. Actually, one formula in this case. Let's look at stone 1. Stone 1, we're going to say we're talking about how high above the ground. So we're interested in displacement. So we're going to say this is the equation we're using. Delta y is equal to v initial delta t plus half a delta t squared. Let's put in what we know. This value here is going to be positive 80 minus h is equal to v initial. It's going to be positive 15 small letter t. Remember, delta t we said is small letter t. Hopefully you can see it here. All right, now let's move on. Do we know do we know acceleration? Yes, positive 9.8. Delta t squared, it changes to small letter t squared. So this is 80 minus h is equal to 15t and then plus 4.9 t squared, if you simplify that part. Now I'm going to make h subject to formula. That means minus h is going to be equal to, I can actually leave it at minus h is equal to take 80 to the other side. It will be minus 80 plus 15t plus 4,9 t squared. Let's call this equation number 1. Stone 1 done. Let's move on to stone 2. Stone 2, again, we're talking about displacement. So delta y is equal to the initial delta t plus half a delta t squared. Do we know delta y? Well, for stone 2, delta y is minus h there. So that's minus h is equal to the initial, where is minus 25. And then we have small letter t there. Plus half positive 9,8 t squared. Simplifying this, we get minus h equals minus 25t plus 4,9 t squared. Call this equation number 2. Now notice we have minus h equals that, minus h equals that. So now we have to solve the two equations simultaneously. How do we do that? By equating them. So equation 1 equated to equation number 2 will produce, watch this one here, which is minus 80 plus 15t plus 4,9 t squared, that part. This must be equal to this part here, minus 25t plus 4,9 t squared, because they are both equal to minus h. Right, now you can clearly see that 4,9 t squared cancels that. And so the 25 minus 25t should be taken to the left. We have 15t plus 25t. The minus 80 should go the other side. It becomes positive 80. Now, taking us to page 3. Remember I told you these are challenging questions. Taking us to page 3. Page 3. What are we saying? Let me move this one down. On page 3, we are saying now this equation must be solved. So we're basically saying 40t, if you check 15 plus 25 is 40, equals 80 divided by 40 both sides, t will be equal to 2 seconds. We are not done yet, but we understand that these stones will pass each other after 2 seconds. The question is not asking us for time. The question says how high above the ground the stones are. Determine how high above the ground the stones are when they pass each other. So we are interested in h. In our sketch, let me take you to the sketch. We are interested in this h here. That means we have to take one of the two equations and substitute t in one of the two equations here. Either this one or this one, and substitute t. So I'm going to take this one. It's easier. So minus h will be equal to that, and then I'll solve for h. So equation number 2 says minus h equals minus 25t plus 4,9 t squared. Let's make h subject to formula, multiply throughout by minus 1. You're going to get h is equal to 25t minus 4,9 t squared. Now we know t equals 2. That means h is going to be equal to 25 times 2 minus 4,9 times 2 squared. Punching this into a calculator, which I have here, this is going to be 50 minus 4,9 times 4. So that's basically 25. Let me just take it slowly. Minus 4.9 times 2 squared. My calculator says 30,4. There you have it. 30,4. And we're talking about meters. That's our h. The conclusion is, therefore, the stones are 30,4 meters above the ground. When they pass each other. That's the way we handle these questions. If you are doing grade 12 in South Africa, I must warn you that these questions come almost every year. You have one, particularly on vertical projectile motion. You have one question that's worth 7 marks or 8 marks. This is the type of question we're talking about. So get used to solving simultaneous equations in physics, and you'll be well prepared for the final exam. All right, I'm going to stop here in this video. Like I said, I'm focusing on one question in each video. I have a couple of them. Like I said here, vertical projectile motion, challenging questions. So this is question 1. We have a couple of them that we'll have to go through in the coming videos. Right, like I said at the beginning, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, support us by sharing these videos. Your support is greatly valued. All right, see you in the next one.